Yes, so Andrew is, with the Hinton is here tonight, to answer any questions. Andrew, if you want to kind of give a general framework and catch everybody up where we are with Brookside.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So the township is proposing a potential tax increment financing district over the Brookside development. That Brookside development is located right there in the southern part of the township. As part of that TIF, it's just a very standard 10-year 75%. So it'll be it's not a tax abatement, it's just a diversion of taxes that allow the township to use that property tax revenue to pay for public infrastructure. It's only going to be related to the actual development that'll be the Brookside Cottages development.
The boundaries of the TIF district are specifically for the, 23 homes, Andy? 22 homes.
22 homes, right?
Okay.
There's that 15-acre parcel. It's just over 50 acres. It's only going to be that parcel that development will be on. It won't be any of the neighboring parcels.
It's just a redistribution of about the 15% that, anyway, it's redistribution of tax funds.
That's right.
And so that does not impact anybody else's. It's already in a home over in Brookside, doesn't raise their taxes, lower their taxes, nothing like that.
Has no impact on really even the homeowners. It won't impact them. They would pay their property taxes just the way it normally would. The way the TIF will function is if the township trustees decide that they would like to pass this resolution at an upcoming meeting, we would then send on that information to the county auditor. The county auditor will set up what's known as a TIF fund. It's essentially an escrow account. The money will then, as it's collected via normal property taxes, the auditor will just transmit that money and send it to the TIF fund for that 75%. And then the township will have access to that to use for public infrastructure means.
I did reach out to the superintendent. We're trying to get on his calendar at the end of this week, just as a courtesy, him and the treasurer. So they're aware of it and don't suspect there'll be any issues, but as a courtesy, we do want to make that contact. Does anybody have any questions?
Sure. One question. So TIFs can be used to invoke eminent domain. And so the residents of Brookside at least twice have stopped the opening of Island Court. Is this TIF going to get around that vote?
It only impacts 22 homes.
Yeah, but which there isn't connectivity from there to the Island Court
Okay,
access.
There has nothing whatsoever to do with
No.
that.
it's close enough that.
That's just a valid question. I get it, but no.
If there's nothing else under the TIP portion of the program tonight, we'll excuse our counsel. And I will look for a motion to, I guess, close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public.
Second.
Vote,
Yes.
Yes.
we'll now move into our regular meeting, and the first order of business for that meeting is to approve the minutes of August the 3rd, 2026.
Make that motion.
Second, vote,
Yes.
yes. Next up would be, excuse me, public comment period. There's no resource from the sheriff's office. So we'll go with our neighborhoods. First up is Brookside.
Nothing new to report other than what we've already discussed in terms of the upcoming fall block party. And you have everything you need
Yep,
on that.
it's the permits approved and sent back.
Thank you.
Worthington Hills.
I'll defer to our civic association president.
Thank you, Chad. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Ewig. I'm the president of the Worthington Hills Civic Association. Here on behalf of them and the board tonight. But also more importantly, our residents, which I know all three of you are residents of our community as well. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I wanted to bring an issue to your attention, and I know the Civic Association has provided you all with a copy of a letter we submitted a couple weeks ago in July regarding e-bikes and some of the concerns from our community surrounding e-bikes and safety around those. I'll start by saying, thank you. The Civic Association greatly appreciates the partnership we have with Perry Township. Thank you for all you do for our association and for our community. This is not a new issue. I know that this topic has been discussed before. I think we just wanted to go on record and both detail some of the issues, some of the concerns we're hearing from residents, but also, and maybe more importantly, offer some common sense solutions that we hope the township may decide to act on. We set out a couple weeks ago, maybe more, about a month ago, on a listening tour with our residents, asking for feedback surrounding this issue about e-bikes. And overwhelmingly, the feedback we got was there's a concern that needs to be addressed. In my letter, and I won't go through all of it, we detail some of the incidents that residents have seen regarding the use of e-bikes. They're typically utilized by minors in the community, inexperienced riders. The speed of the e-bikes is a concern with regards to some of the shared public spaces in the community. It's not isolated. There's been various incidents and reported back to us that it's growing more and more, as the weeks go on. And really the goal here is to, again, offer some solutions before a more serious incident occurs. Traveling too fast through the neighborhood, not properly abiding to public roadway laws, weaving through traffic, using their phones, texting while on these, riding after dark, not utilizing proper, helmet wear, doing stunts on the roadways. The list goes on, and I won't go into it. I'm sure you're all aware of this. But again, we're not here to, we want e-bikes to be utilized in an enjoyable manner, appropriate. That's our goal. And we don't want to discourage responsible use. But we want to make sure that young riders are properly educated in how to utilize these. And both in turn, pedestrians have clear expectations and a safe environment when using our public roadways. So again, our goal here is to work with you all, offer some suggestions. There's blueprints out there. I know other communities have taken action to enforce different types of regulations surrounding e-bikes. We would support, utilizing, doing some age restrictions surrounding e-bikes. That's setting minimum age for operating these motorized vehicles on public roadways. Helmet requirements. I know, and just, speaking to some of you and speaking to law enforcement, I know there's been a big emphasis from law enforcement to help educate riders in the community, and we appreciate that.
Have you seen the letter that?
It has been sent out.
It has been sent out,
I was
yeah.
waiting for the approval on the flyer too.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send the both to
All
you.
right, got it. Okay.
Okay. And I'll just briefly wrap up. I mean, perhaps there's a registration, requirements that could be enacted. Safety education obviously is a huge component, just like driver's ed for driving a car. These are typically minors that utilize these, so perhaps there needs to be some more safety education requirements before you can utilize these. And, perhaps down the road, targeted enforcement, if it's not, these regulations are not being, adhered to, perhaps, that's the last step. But again, we appreciate the audience here tonight. I just the board, the Civic Association felt strongly to come before you all, just go on record and state that, we're urging consideration to act and, from a township perspective. And again, we really appreciate everything you do for our community, and keeping our residents safe. But we just encourage you to look into this matter, and, we're happy to answer any questions if there are. Thank you for the time.
I'll kind of defer to the chief, and he can explain kind of what we've done. But I guess like an overview is, we're our police department, like any police department, is bound by what's in the Ohio Revised Code. So, we can't place age restrictions on e-bikes. We can't, I don't know about the helmets. I think under Ohio law, helmets aren't required for the 2 of the 3 classes of the e-bikes. We can't require registration. I know like some communities are doing that. And again, I'll let the chief speak to this, but, one thing that makes it a little more unique in Worthington Hills, for example, compared to a place like Upper Arlington, and every community obviously has a border, but our neighborhood's pretty landlocked in a way. But you have Perry Township, you have Sharon Township, you have City of Columbus, and then in the back 40 area where Andy lives, you have a bike path that connects into Calumet Farms, and I know kids go through that a lot with bikes. So you really have 4 jurisdictions. So that just makes it a little more unique as well. But I guess I'll turn it over to Chief Cicero so he can tell you that.
Can I ask one quick? Michelle, are you guys seeing the same issues over in Brookside?
We were seeing more of it until that recent incident where the child was missing. You recall?
Yes.
Got lost and went missing on an e-bike.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it as much anymore. It seems like there was a bit of resident conversation after that. I don't know if that made folks kind of rethink it or not.
There was some conversation with our officers too about that.
Yeah.
Well,
About the distance.
it's a little like, it's something new, so I think it's, just, you have to kind of get used to it a little bit. We had the same we had the same concern, I guess, years ago about golf carts. And quite honestly, I put some of the blame on the parade committee for that, because everybody and their mother's got a golf cart. And I can't tell you, it was even today. I wish I had my camera on my phone with me. People love to drive golf carts on Circle and the Green because there's really no traffic. I can't tell you how many people let their, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids drive a golf cart. Mom and dad are sitting in the seat next to them, but there's no possible way this child's anywhere near 16 and they're driving a golf cart, on Circle on the Green where, it's a circle. So sometimes, you go around, you can't see cars and cars can't see you. So, but I think the golf cart thing, for the most part, is kind of settled down. I mean, it's crazy the week of 4th of July, obviously. I'm surprised there's not been more accidents with those, but again, I'll let the chief tell you what we've done to try to, address this issue.
So we started doing targeted enforcement, and if you want, I can send you some of those stats. We started that I think the week before. So each week we'll have a different night when we do some target enforcement. Officers are on bicycles, and we spend a little extra time in making contacts and so forth. The one thing I know that was talked about was a resolution here to say, we'll pass a resolution to be similar with the Ohio. The issue is, in my opinion, when you pass a resolution, it becomes a civil issue to where if you follow the Ohio Revised Code, we have the option to make it criminal. So that's one of the things that, and if we're going to adopt the same thing as the Ohio Revised Code, we already have it. So it's just they try to target the enforcement and educate more. I have a letter and a flyer about e-bikes that once they are happy with the flyer, they've already approved the letter that's going to go out. We want to send it out to all of our residents, township wide, so to speak, e-blasted, and then Officer Schwab becomes your,
Yeah.
she will bring some of those flyers and letters so people can, she can pass them out at events and different things. So we hope to try to educate the best we can and enforce when we have to, if that makes sense. And like I said, we're going to continue the directed patrols and target enforcement until probably the weather gets to the point where we're not. A lot of the folks that you see causing the problem live on the Delaware County side. We've had 3 or 4 where kids have run from us, from the officers, and they all go straight up Fairway Drive through the cut through and into Delaware County. So, and this past week, our officer on bike stopped they stopped a young man on a go-kart who was from Delaware County and another ATV from Delaware County. So unfortunately, some of those problems are outside of the neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. Well, appreciate that, and we'd be happy to disperse that letter to.
Absolutely.
Association.
And if you want to let, especially our residents know when they see things, call us immediately, call when they have trouble on emergency numbers, because there's, especially if officers close by, it gives us a better chance.
Yeah, kids typically respond a little bit better if police officer than if we go back to their parents.
Well, what we find is when you call the parents over and say, come here, and because we have your child, because they did this, they respond a little differently too, so, which is a good thing.
Okay.
But yeah, please give us a call, tell your members, give us a call if they see something, so.
Yeah, I think just picking up on Jet, I mean, he hit on the golf carts, and I think because it's such a new mode of transportation, people are getting used to it. So I always say, like, when the golf carts came out, it was like the pendulum was over here. It was like, not only do we have kids driving it, but they're not road ready, they need brake light. I mean, the list went on and on and on. And I think they've become sort of an accepted mode of transportation, and that pendulum has kind of swung back where everybody's like that. I think I'm sort of one that says, okay, let's kind of live with it. I understand taking a risk from a safety standpoint and everything like that, but it's like, I think what's gonna happen is that pendulum's gonna sort of come back and people will get used to it. I think the big thing is educating parents. Because parents have no clue what their kids are doing. I mean, I saw a kid, you'd said about the thing. I was telling Chief, I was mowing my grass and I see a kid doing a wheelie coming up the thing. And I was like, but if they're not there, what do we do? Like, how do I stop the kid and say, hey, I want you to take me on? I mean, that's the situation that we're in right now, is like, how do you enforce something, whether that kid was registered or not? You gotta catch it, and then if you do catch it, then the only people that really can do it are the police, that's gonna have any teeth. And I think that's the issue that I think we're over here and the pendulum's gonna swing back, but I think working with the Civic Association on this can more like educate. The nice thing is kids are going back to school. So I think there's an opportunity to get kids around and, and talk to them and, say, hey, these things that you're driving. But that's sort of my take on where we're at in the whole scheme of things. So for right or wrong.
Chief, if we had an opportunity to work with the school, education wise, safety wise, and Chief Petrosi's thing is, would the officers, do we have the resources to be able to work with the school to educate students, parents? Like, I know they do the Wednesday bus. Like
We still do like a rodeo with them too, like the bicycle rodeo type thing. So there's always an opportunity. Officer writes in the school all the time. There's always opportunity to kind of like the flyer. Can we get the school to send them home? Can we can post at the school. There's a lot of opportunities there that we already do. I'm sure that we can ask for a little help.
connect that way.
I think the thing we need to be very cognizant about in offering any type of training or education is that we have nobody within our organization that is certified to do that. So I think there is an expectation of people who would send their children to that they're being trained by people who are trained to train. And we don't have anybody.
So does Upper Arlington have someone? or will they? Do you
I don't know that there is any training available right now through OPATA that certifies law enforcement.
Well, maybe it's not
Maybe
training.
it's not training, it's
It's
just going
more
over
like-
what the laws are. And
It's
then-
more like
yeah.
education on, because I still think some people are very confused on. If you need a license, you don't need a license, how fast can these things go, or, I didn't know until there were three classes of e-bikes until I did some research and, and two out of the three, anybody can operate those, you don't need a helmet. The third class is a little more unusual, you gotta be a certain age, you gotta wear a helmet, I think, for the class 3 ones, but, I know there's a difference there, but I think a lot of folks might not know that, I think some parents just need to be reminded too, that they're responsible for their kids. And if there's problems caused by their kids, then it's ultimately gonna fall on the parents.
Right.
Well, I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt to suggest perhaps to the schools that here's a letter that could be sent out with your information or attached, I think if they do them electronically now.
Yeah,
Is everybody gonna read it? Does it hopefully connect a few dots for folks that aren't paying attention?
I know that, Ms. Miller had said before, anything we wanted to post, they have a board that's inside the school, we can hang things there, so I think we could probably post this kind of stuff there. I'm sure the new principal wouldn't have any issue with that either, so again, I think there's ways we can do that, and if you look on our Facebook page, the police page, there's several things about e-bikes there. You can print anything off that you want to share. Like I
I
said, we
think
have,
we've reshared a few of those.
Okay. and then like I said, this one, as long as the board doesn't have any issues with this one, that will come out with, a letter. And like I said, I'll make sure you get copies of that too.
Thank you.
Chief, if we're going to do something for the school, I think maybe looking at the PTA or the Parents Association, having the school send it to the parents, because big part of this issue is that parents don't truly understand
The rules.
the rules, or I think the potential of what these vehicles can do. They see them as just electric bicycles, when in fact they are more than that. And I think the education, certainly the kids need to understand what traffic laws are. But I also, because I'm old, think that's a parent's responsibility to teach their children.
Well, it's not because you're old, it's a responsibility, especially if we're talking about the elementary schools. Those kids don't have the,
Right, so if I'm
the
gonna put my kid,
decision-making abilities,
if I'm gonna
so
put
the
my kid out
information
there,
has to go to,
yeah, I just think,
The
we
parents.
can certainly talk to the kids. I just wanna be very careful in how we word this, that we are not offering training, because we're not certified trainers, and just don't wanna put us in a position where if something goes sideways, they can come back and say, well, this is what the police department was training us on. We're not certified trainers, we shouldn't be offering training in an area we're not certified to train in. We can certainly offer education and tips about, here's what the laws say.
well, and so I don't know what the board's vision is on that, but that's, my assumption was it was going to be some reiteration, if not
Yeah.
a direct duplication of the same information that we're
Well-
looking to send to residents.
But in what we talked about tonight, I've heard about what other communities are doing, and some other communities are offering some training.
Understood. So what is the board, where are you folks landing here on this? I mean, is the intent to try to do some training of the
No.
children?
No,
I think we're going down the path that we should. You guys are doing what you're doing. We're gonna send it out. We're gonna tell people what we're doing. We're gonna hopefully see, a change. And then it's sort of peeling back the layers of the onion. Once we see what that happens, we'll adjust. If we need to amp things up, we'll amp things up. If we don't, but I just think I think we're just, the pendulum's over here. And it's gonna slowly come back, and, and I think it's educating parents that, Johnny got an e-bike, we're gonna buy Billy an e-bike because Johnny got one, but we don't really understand because we don't want our kid to, be, all of his kid, and I've got a regular bike. It's just, and that's where the breakdown is, because they bought the kid the bike to do it, and then now it's, they're just not training or understand what they just bought their kid. So
And I think the more parents that we call, when we stop their kids, I think that helps educate. Because that's kind of where we're at. You stop somebody for a violation that's under 18, we're calling parents, making them come and release them to their parents.
Including when it's senior time.
Well, and that goes back to
My
the,
son.
that also gets the word on, I mean, the nice thing about Worthington Hills being kind of in the bubble, and like you said, and Brookside as well. It's like, when something like that happens, they're gonna tell all their friends.
Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's like, we're gonna come back and, at a party or whatever, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm gonna come back and it's like, if I get called down because you were doing it, that's what we want. We want parents to be aware that there's an enforcement activity going on.
The other side of it is you have young kids who don't know any better, so they stop and talk to the officers. You have a group that when they see officers, they will be perfect, kind of like traffic violations. Then you have others that will do it in front of an officer because they're not gonna stop.
That's what we do.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
so.
Completely understanding the comment about, the training aspect and not being trained. With the golf carts, for instance, now you have to have the police come out and
Do an inspection.
do inspection, check off. As part of that education, could there be a component where you have a police officer? I mean, I'm just thinking, if you have a kid interact with a law enforcement agent on the front end, could that, set the stage for them to be more, reliable, with
Yeah,
operating it on the front end?
And I think that goes back to kind of the education we need to hear, and again, kind of like the bicycle rodeo. Our bike officers participate in bicycle rodeo, but they're not training anybody. What they're doing is explaining what the laws are, what the rules are. They don't train you on it, they explain what the law says. So again, I think it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of what we're trying to do is, here's what the law says, you have to abide by this. So,
Yeah.
again, it's a, we want to educate the people for sure. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what we're.
I think
It does, it does. Thanks.
Say, but that's really.
In terms of like getting the word out in education, does the Civic Association put out any kind of a newsletter anymore?
We don't do a monthly newsletter. We do communications when needed and.
There used to always be, views from the hills, you probably all remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out quarterly, I think, back in the day, but.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But,
We don't, but we're always happy to.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have a pretty good database, because you get an email about dues every year. But, maybe provide the information to them and they can do a separate email blast.
So it's not making.
Yeah.
I'll do that too.
I guarantee there's people that are on your email database that aren't on ours, and we're trying real hard to get more and more people to do that, particularly like at school events and that kind of thing, or, even like at Epcon, they're having a community night, we're gonna try to. It's so much easier to communicate with people that way, it's so much more efficient to do that.
So, I keep pushing this thing. Would we be willing to have conversation with the principal and the PTA president and just kind of talk through this about what they see as the best vehicle to communicate to both parents and students?
Don't see that's an issue at all.
Okay. Let's have the conversation. With no commitment. Because they deal with these kids every day. At least the ones that go to the school, right? Not the Delaware, but the ones that go to school. They also deal with parents in some respect. So you just trying to figure out the connection, the best effective connection that can be made from their perspective.
And I mean this with no disrespect, but the elementary kids aren't the problem.
I know.
I mean, that's the whole
I
thing.
know.
It's the young teens and late teens that we're having issues with.
And
The kid-
hopefully, though, you might get some with older siblings,
Absolutely.
I don't care if they get the same thing 5 times,
Right.
hopefully it hits some of the.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean,
Yeah.
elementary kids are the easy part.
Anything else? Joe, anything else?
No, thank you for the opportunity to come.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
Anything else for Worthington Hills? Epcot, we never did Epcot and Rebello, anything on the Epcot and Rebello?
Let's see, Is the water,
Neighbors, night.
the backflow water thing on there? Or you wanna talk about that now?
Well, we're still waiting. Ravello is going to have to do some work on a backflow valve on their main water line. So they're gonna shut water off for about 3 hours. I've been working with Upper Arlington Fire to get their approval to do that. They have to go through the UA's fire marshal, submit some paperwork, they'll have to issue a permit. And then we'll send that permit to the city of Columbus, who actually owns that water line. They'll send somebody out from the big meter department. They have what it's called, the big meter department. It's like commercial meters. And they'll be there while they do that job and make sure it's all put together. And so we're working on it. That they have not set a date to start that project. We're kind of right now waiting on UA to give us that go ahead.
And just to kudos to EPCON, their HOA, after much frustration, because they're an independent HOA at this point. They shared with us all their email to their residents, so we have their email addresses and the authorization to use them for announcements from the HOA.
And for our e-blast.
Yeah, because they have that authority to do so. So whereas Ravello doesn't, they're not an independent yet, they're not switched over. I just want to thank them for doing that. It partly came from the fact of why the culvert project on Riverside Drive. Why aren't you telling us? Well, it's because we probably had about 5 emails from those people and ever so many, so it kind of was generated as a result of that conversation. So I want to thank them for doing that.
Anything else under public comment? Zoning, anything under zoning tonight?
Nope.
Road department.
A few updates on a couple addresses, 1632, I believe it's a water issue they're having, in the gutter pan, freezing, causing an ice block in the winter time. I don't see any issues with the water, anything from the curb causing the water to, dam up. I think there's a sump pump running continuously. It's really hard right now to tell which sump pump is causing that in the winter, so.
So I can tell you, they might have the same issue that I had. If they're, I mean, it's hard to tell this summer, but the summer that happened to me, it was bone dry. And my water line had a leak in it as it was coming into the foundation because they didn't used to sleeve it. And when it shifted, it started to drain, so the water was coming down. I wasn't seeing it in the meter, but my sump was constantly running, but it was constantly flushing out until I found it.
I
So
think,
that might be,
one of the neighbors runs
yeah,
nonstop in the winter.
and the only way they have to do it, Ian, is they gotta take a stethoscope and they go like this up to the wall and they'll hear the water running on the, it was seriously, I had no clue, couldn't understand it, but found it and
It's
created all kinds of.
But you did have that bonus bathroom in your
The
front yard.
water,
after
the
that.
water.
Nice.
Oh, that was a
Well,
different issue.
We do find out where it's coming from.
Yeah,
That can be brought up to the
yeah.
homeowner, the resident. 8007 Park Ridge and 1166 residents have reported, problems with their approaches. 1166 Blind Brook, they have a chunk missing out of the approach, and, there's some deterioration on 8007 Park Ridge. I've got that plan to, do some, concrete patching on that, on the driveways.
We're doing it, right?
We're gonna do it. We didn't do a contract this year. We're gonna do this in-house. It's just gonna be patchwork.
Okay.
Uh,
Have you let the residents know the plans for,
I will.
okay, thank you.
Then I have an update. Well, Steve Haddon's right-of-way permit has been issued. He did post the bond. I did a paperwork to Mr. Roper. The back of the bond requires chairman's signature. And then he's moving forward with the work. Excavator was delivered Friday. He'll be digging his foundation for his new house soon.
Trailer moves in.
He is planning on living out of a camper.
What's wrong with this house?
He sold his house and he moved out last week.
Wait, what?
Say, wait a second, he sold his house.
His
Sold
house,
his
sold,
house.
the one he's living in, he's building, his new house is the one they're building. He plans on putting a camper out there while he's building.
So it,
Camper on his property, camper,
Yes. Camper on his property,
okay,
On the side.
not on the road,
not on the road, no,
yeah, okay.
no, in the back end. Or the back of the property there,
I think we should park it out.
It's really the back for it.
as long as it's out of the right of way. And then do we have an update on the Brookside traffic calming?
So I wanted to talk about that. I was not here last time. I don't know if you ended up, I apologize.
I just tabled it.
Okay, great. So it was, I think, a very productive conversation. Got a lot of resident feedback. Nora did reach out after about what next steps are, and we'd like to get back on our calendar. We can do the next meeting if that works for everybody. For her to kind of review and provide a revised deck based on the feedback of the residents. What we also need to kind of tee up is based off of that additional revision is timing for a all resident review. Now that school is starting, you know, we can do that at the school. That should be easy to book. Based on availability. I don't know if you folks want to do like a whole meeting like we've done before where it happens to be our standard meeting. We just move the location, or do you want to do just a special meeting for that?
I just do it special.
I was just gonna do like an open house meeting. That was my vision. I'll do whatever.
And that's fine. I'm
whatever
asking
it
what,
is.
I don't,
I think a special meeting is probably better, just
Okay.
because people don't wanna sit through
Rest of the
business,
stuff.
right, unless it's an ultra short meeting, but, you know.
that works.
I think a special meeting is more to the point, you'll get better turnout.
The other thing that Nora raised in her message to me is that we are reaching the end of the scope of work that was initially defined. So I think the recap and the revision of the deck, it's my understanding, would be part of the current scope, but we'll have to determine if
But her scope included that already.
included the resident meeting, correct? I'm sorry, through that, but then we need to determine if additional action is needed.
So does she
We can talk to her about that when we have her on
okay,
for the meeting.
that's fine.
That
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, obviously, there are a couple steps after y'all, yeah, okay.
So if it works for you folks, then I will confirm her availability for our next meeting. Okay.
Anything else on the road department?
Mr. Channing, did you want to share the new Aqua Contact?
So I did reach out. We have a new aqua contact. It's, Maurice was our former contact. He's moved on to another company position. So, I left him a message today and asked for some available dates so that we can at least have a kind of, get to know you.
The new guy, Mr. Niles.
Yeah. And so we'll get something set up with you and Petrosi and just get to know each other real quick and try to get a better understanding of the conclusion of the project that they have going on and maybe what they're looking for in 27. So when he calls back, I'll get some dates and shoot them your way and something on the calendar.
Hey, Ian, I do have one question for you on the roads. So how far down is that water line where they cut across Clubview?
5 foot.
How are we gonna address, are they gonna repave that entire intersection kind of similar to how they did over at the school where Candlewood
It'll-
hits Clubview?
It'll be 1 lane width. It won't be as wide as how they did Clubview
Okay.
at Amblewood. It'll be the
'Cause-
full lane.
My concern is, and you can kind of see what's happening now with the amount of traffic that keeps hitting that spot. It's gonna go, and coming from somebody that had a driveway that, replaced it, it's down, it's still settling. So I don't know what their requirements for compacting, whether they're gonna do it in lifts or what, but that, we really gotta make sure.
That seems like it's just temporary right now.
That is
Yeah,
temporary.
it's temporary,
But
but
it has dipped down quite a bit.
Yeah, the cold patch that they're using, that's gonna work its way out. They're gonna do a full depth repair of the trench. I think it's 10 inches of asphalt is what's on the plan,
okay,
and then they'll do the mill out across that.
all right, cool. And are they they're doing the fiber mat?
They will not do the fiber mat. We didn't do the agreement with them this year.
Okay.
This is just the one lane that they're required
Right.
in the specs to,
Okay,
How many feet are in the township though? I think it's not that much, right?
about 300 on each street.
Okay. I always think it goes like 2 houses deep, maybe 3. Very township.
Yeah, and we'd be really hard to get the Strasser SDI to come in to do 600 feet.
Could we get,
I mean, we're the county doesn't push this on their projects.
right? Do you think we could get the alternative, what's it called? Sammy?
What's Circle in the Green is?
Well, I wasn't gonna say that anyway. Hey, if it's good for Circle in the Green, it's good for everybody else. So
Have higher standards.
do you think we could have a conversation?
We could have a conversation, but it's gonna be hard to get any contractor. The mobilization fee to have them come in to do 600 feet
can they,
is gonna be extremely high.
can they add? Like, we're doing, like our condo association, Chemcoat's doing it, and they're putting a fiber mix into the asphalt as they mix it, and then when they lay it, it's not like the
Yeah.
fiber mat that we're doing, but it is a fiber that they're adding to it. Is there a chance that we can look at that?
We can look into it and see
Okay.
if we can.
I'll send you the product that they're doing with
Does
us.
that road have fiber mat on it right now?
Yeah.
Clubview does.
Clubview
Mission
does.
Hills and Singing.
Right, but
Mission
I
Hills,
suppose you could make the argument that they gotta put it back the way they found it.
well, that would be 1.5 inches of asphalt. Some of that were just going outside the township line or right inside. We're finding like 2 inches of asphalt. 1.5 inches of asphalt,
Yeah, they're
they're
gonna
getting
end up
down
doing
to the
like 10.
base.
They're gonna end up doing like 10, you said?
They're gonna fill, yeah,
Okay.
they're required in the trench to fill that, to do the full depth there, and then the overlay. But
Okay,
yeah, the Sharon has run into a lot of problems where the asphalt is 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick in a lot of spots.
I think what the board doesn't want to see is the hill on Sharon, where it's got that nice rut.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, again, this is a little bit different. That's a slope. I get it.
I mean, a bottom of Clubview,
Yeah,
yeah, that's gonna be.
that's bad.
That's one of
It
the
has other
problems with the
issues.
fiber mat.
Huh?
That's one of the problems with the fiber mat. Is they did Sammy. No, they did fiber mat up the hill. It's a floating road
Right.
on top of that old asphalt. A lot of the trucks, a lot of our construction trucks
Mhm.
over the years have caused a lot of that, where it's hitting the brakes and sliding that asphalt on the. Tom reminds me of it all the time.
I'm sure it does.
Anything else in the road department?
That's all I have.
Fire and EMS.
I have enough Arlington, report for the month of July. There were 8 calls, into Perry Township. 6 of those were on Riverside Drive. 1 was at Epcot, 1 was at Ravello. I did not receive a report yet from Warmington.
Police.
Well, can I add one thing to that? I did talk to Pete. They have not supposed to be receiving something from Morton to fire. Proposed revision, he hasn't got it, you haven't got it, so nothing we can do until they have a conversation with us.
Their city manager is out for 2 weeks. My conversation with, Chief Zambito, she's gone for 2 weeks or 3 weeks on vacation and has directed the legal director, legal director to send that over, but my conversation with Pete on Friday was that I haven't received anything yet.
We
I'll
just
be
have, we have
back
to
up.
wait on that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't do anything. till
Yeah,
we see
they gotta
what
send it to us.
Police,
Received the, public records policy and fee schedule that, you all approved. Pete approved it, sent it to the Frank County Prosecutor's Office. They approved it. So now it's a matter of a start date of when we want to implement it.
anything under e-bikes other than what we talked about?
No, I just have, you all have.
We've all approved that, I think.
This is the flyer. Just wanted to make sure there's no issues or questions with the flyer.
I'm good.
As long as you all are good with that, I'll make sure it gets sent out.
All right,
Do you need an effective date for the schedule?
I think you have to adopt it. So I was thinking.
Yeah, we probably need a resolution
Yeah.
to set that as policy.
Because that applies to admin as well for public records, so it's township wide. So I would say September 1st, October, something like that, where we have time to push it out, de-blast it, post it, and say, starting this date, this is the new fee schedule.
You want a date?
That's why I said, I think we could do September 1st. That's still a couple weeks out, or do you want to go longer?
well, if we have to do a resolution, it has to be after a meeting, right?
Yeah, we have training tomorrow. Let's ask that question and then we'll put it on the next meeting agenda.
Okay.
For the 9th? Okay.
Mr. Administrator,
We currently send out quarterly newsletters. And we have had some conversation about trying to fill those newsletters with articles on a quarterly basis. And sometimes we rerun things. So the idea is, or the proposal is, let's go to a semi-annual newsletter. Every 6 months, we'll send one out. We can make it a little larger in content. And we are not putting that, I'm gonna call it a burden on our as a township, administrative assistant to put that together and get it out 4 times a year. So I would ask board's opinion and whether or not they're in favor of that.
I think she does a great job, first of all. There's a lot of work involved in it, because it's a big document. So I don't know if it's twice a year or 3 times a year or.
Well, we're currently at 4 times a year. And we also think, we also check, we'll continue to put out
E-blast.
e-blast and notifications if something big's coming up, if it's chipping season, things of that season, but those newsletters that provide the various articles from all the department heads are.
I think twice a year is full.
What about like doing it in June for the 4th? That's
Right.
going to be a major event. We'll have it thing, and then the next one would be maybe
Before Christmas.
December,
Yeah.
cause yeah.
I think those are good timelines.
yeah, because usually in December, you kind of know the calendar for the following year, so you can put a copy of the magnet calendar version of that, you can,
Yep.
and there's stuff just to announce too, for the holidays, so maybe you do it like in November and June or something. Whatever you got to see, but, I think before the holidays and before the 4th of July.
In November, maybe, so that it's before.
Maybe late May, and then November,
Yeah,
because by
And then if
late
we
May,
have a summer intern be too late.
well,
That'd be too late.
you can do a separate email blast on that.
Yeah,
and, you know, be a little more aggressive with the schools.
Short of taking hostages, I don't know if we can be more aggressive than we were last year, but. All right, we'll keep trying. Dave has created, and I'll just send this down real quick. She's created this trifold little document that we want to hand out at events that the police are at, where we're going to be, much like this, event that's going to happen down at, Epcon. And it just gives people information about what they can receive through the e-blast. There's a QR code where they can go in and sign up for the e-blast. It's a well thought out and well put together document. We're just looking for the board to say, we're good with that as something, a piece of communication that we will hand out to people.
I love it. I think it looks wonderful.
Yeah, that's great.
I have one suggestion if it's not too late.
No, not too late.
Under the trash and recycling section next to the QR code.
Yep.
It says the township does not provide residential trash collection. I get we are not the provider. But I think from our residents' perspective, that's probably semantics, you know what I mean? Maybe instead it's Rumpke is the provider, you know what I mean? Like, here's what.
Rumpke is our current provider.
Rumpke is our current provider.
We're gonna be coming up on a
Agreed,
contract.
but maybe something about who it is.
Some people
instead of
like trash.
That it's not us.
Trash
Yeah,
on
good
behalf of the township.
Good point.
Good catch.
That's how a lawyer. thinks. That's free.
Is that free?
Oh,
He is retired. Well, I give to you.
Got a couple other questions while you're in the.
The help desk.
I do think it looks great though. It looks so professional.
It looks like
so
somebody,
polished.
I can't
It's-
believe that came out of our offices.
I can. Our people are that good.
Yeah, she is amazing and so I'm gonna kind of jump. That's my next item anyway. I'm gonna
You don't
jump
see
to
it?
this website update. We've sat down, we've talked to 3 different companies. Our website is the exact same website layout, set up as it was when we put it together 11 years ago, going on 12 years. Pictures that were on that website were pictures that were taken 12 years ago. So those places, like those flower beds that were in there, they don't exist anymore. Everything has changed. So we thought about, we probably update it, but we can't update it because our current Civic Plus, that was not part of our package that we bought. And so they are willing to help us put together redesign. That's the term they use. They're willing to help us redesign our website and make it a little better, and they can do that for us at the low cost of about $8,300. Then we met with STG, which is a website shoemaker technology group, and it's a website building company, and they'll build you a website from scratch. And they will be glad to help us with a website starting at about $34.95 for a year for the cost. Then they have additional little underlying costs that if you need different things, they charge you for. It is almost identical when you look at how that website works. They're almost identical to Civic Plus. I can tell you that the ladies who are responsible for our website find Civic Plus to be very difficult to navigate through. We also met with a company called Revise. Revise can help us design and build a whole new website. And guys, again, all this information's in there for you, so you don't have to belabor what I'm trying to say here and just consume it all. But Revise will build us a whole new website. It will cost us about, I figure out that number, I think it's like $12,000. But with that option, we can spread that cost out over 5 years. So we're paying about $3,700 a year over 5 years. And at the end of the 4th year, they will give us a whole new redesign. We will go back in and redo the whole thing as a part of that cost. So I think at some point we gotta make changes to our website. I think we need to make it a little easier. I think our ladies have demonstrated that they have some skill sets that can really make what we have available to our residents look wonderful. But we gotta give them the tools to be able to do that. And our website, our current website with Civic Plus is not the tool. And I am not a fan of the service we've gotten from them. I've had to send several emails that have been less than cordial, just to get some folks' attention.
What are we paying for Civic Plus right now, a month?
We pay Andy, I think, annually over 4,000, 5,000 a year.
Okay,
I don't have, I'm sorry, I don't have, that's one number I don't have. But I'll get it for you.
Okay.
But again, I just
so
think,
not a month.
no, we pay annually.
No, five, so it's 5,000 a year.
Yes,
Okay,
right. And in this company, this revised would be 30-some hundred a year, over 5 years. And again, in that 5th year, or 4th year, going into the 5th year, we would do a complete redesign as a part of that cost.
Apologies if I missed it, but would they also be hosting the
Yes,
site?
they're the host.
You're saying it's less than what we're paying now,
Yes.
but we get a revised.
We get a revised plan and we build this cost out over that 5 years. If we go with Civic Plus to redesign what we have, we gotta pay them the $8,300 up front. And that's really,
Well, if we're not happy with Civic Plus, this is one of those things where if cost is about the same, and even if it's a tad more, I like to think we give our police chief the tools he needs, Ian the tools he needs. We don't really talk sometimes about, office people, but, we have talented people there and they know what they like and they don't like. And I think we ought to, if the price is, within reason, I would defer to them on that.
I agree. I mean, Amanda and Faith, I sat through all these meetings, Amanda and Faith were able to ask all the pertinent questions that they have relative to managing this process. And of the 3, this is their recommendation on what is best and easiest for them to
and they're $12,000 to redo
everything and the host.
and divide it by 5.
Right.
So, because if it's 3,700 over 5 years, that's $18,500 we'd be paying for the website over 5 years. That
Okay,
is,
then at 12,000, let's see here, Andy, 5-year guarantee, first grand total is 10,800. And I think that's to build it, and then the other costs, Andy, must be the hosting cost, but
over 5 years, so we get to spread the 10,800 over 5 years.
yes,
And then the monthly hosting would equal to 3,700.
yeah.
Andy?
Well, I mean, the only other thing with Civics Plus, I mean, we have a website, it's built, I understand that Luke added 300 pages, but the other thing that you can do is you can call Civic Plus and say, hey, if
Yeah.
you guys don't fix this, then we're leaving.
Well,
And
we
you can
told
lose.
them that.
Okay, and they're
like, well,
okay, well,
you gotta
whatever.
build it, it's your problem.
So the other-
Take them down.
So the other question I have is how much transferable stuff, because the other thing that you have to look at is what stuff can we because the last time, the reason why we went Civic Plus is it was super easy to upload and to do, and they had all their, I don't want this to turn into another massive project. It's like, if they can download what we got, put it up into the new thing, and we're off and running, awesome.
Well, they said the first 500 pages
Yeah,
are migrated for free.
right. The other thing,
$3 per.
the other thing we need to, and I'm sorry, I didn't
And the pages include things like the zoning code and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that'll all come over. But this company also has the ability to manage e-blast, Revise does, e-blast, and their e-blast system is not only an email, but they also text. We don't have that right now with, our current vendor. And that's not Civic Plus, that is eye contact, I believe is who we use for.
It's the weirdest candy.
That candy.
I'm happy with the candy, I don't.
forget about our website. Let's talk about.
So what's their term on this thing? From the time we say go, how long is it gonna take for them?
The good
to have it
candy
up?
will not be back until they get the
I
website.
believe, Andy, they
Some
said they could
Crackle and Mr. Good.
You need to
have it
police
up and
department.
running in, 6 weeks, I believe was the date. And see, now you're testing my memory, Andy, because we thought it was so many people. But I thought he said 6 weeks, but I'll verify that for you and get
So
back.
so they do offer those things. I see it down in the add-ons, but that's not part of the quote that we've got, right?
No, but we're already paying a separate fee for eye
that.
contact.
Right.
When's the next time you meet one? Or have you?
With these folks,
Yeah.
well, they're waiting for us to say, all right, we want to sit and talk specifically, timeframes and get going, let's get moving on what we're gonna do here and how we're gonna do it.
So does the board want to see?
A proposal?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I mean, because it sounds like if this was to move forward, Revise is the company that you would select.
Yes.
So does it make sense to either invite them to a meeting or
I mean,
you don't
it-
need to?
I don't need to get into depths, it's just like, cause here's the thing, if you look at the analytics is, we're only getting 2,200 visits a month. And half of those are that, people that are just bouncing, because you look at the bounce
Yeah,
rate, it's like, well, no, the average time on our website is 34 seconds. So people are coming in to look for exactly, they're getting the information and then they're out. Or they're looking for Perry Township that's up in Akron and they're like, oh, wrong Perry, and then they're out. So people are coming for information on trash, zoning, and police, or, public notice, that's it. So if we can, I don't care personally, I don't care about pictures, I don't care about, all the stuff, because the stuff that we're doing is it's sending to our Facebook page, which is all the pretty stuff and all that other good stuff. So I'm not putting a lot of weight into it as long as the information that people are coming to get, and that would be zoning, police and, trash.
Well, let's get a little more maybe concrete proposal.
Okay, I'll get exact numbers. Do you want me to have them include with this quote what their e-blast add-on is as well?
Yeah, maybe, and make sure you include from our end what we pay right now for that stuff, so we
Yeah.
can kind of compare apples to apples, what are we paying our monthly for email blast, we pay monthly for website? And then, what, if we, it sounds like we're not gonna go with Civic Plus, but I mean, if you had it redesigned, just the standard chart we see like for health insurance, here's the difference. With color columns.
So,
Pie chart.
so there's the one good thing about this. Don't they do, text messaging?
Yeah, we talked about that they can do email and text and their notifications. We currently only get email.
Do they charge separate for those, or this is just like together?
It's together and it's just part of their pack add-on. It's an add-on to the whole package.
Well, I wish we had more email addresses. It'd be nice to be able to text somebody out on the road closure, those kind of things that you wanna.
Most people will pick up a text message before they pick up their email.
Right.
Okay, let me get these exact numbers for you. I'll have that for you. Our next meeting, again, gentlemen, all of that is in the brochure, in the folder that's on the
Yeah.
page, and then it's all right here for you as well. If you want to just really sit and read that, I will tell you, this is kind of the folks that have to deal with this, and this is what Amanda said to me. We are definitely facing limitations in editing capabilities, and having significant communication issues with Civic Plus. She worked with Civic Plus when she was at Prairie. She said they didn't have those problems, but they had a different account manager. Our account manager was a gal from Texas. I don't know how we ended up with her. Sometimes you just get lucky. It's all about the camera. But again, in our communications with trying to resolve some of these matters is the 400 pages that are up there. How do we take these down? That's your problem. You gotta figure it out. You don't have the tools. Well, they're always wanting to sell you something. Again, I'm not a fan of that organization and how they offer service.
Well, this is really, here's my opinion. This is really an Andy thing, the contract thing, the shell thing, and the color thing are Jim's thing. And they're good with it, and we're good.
There you go.
That's
You did an
very
excellent job of
I'm the
backing
peace
yourself on
person.
that.
And absolutely, just like that peacemaking thing.
Everybody says.
All right, we'll work on that. Trick or treat, Morp City is saying October 29th. You guys wanna go with that date?
Parents of small children.
Chairman, I move that we set up trick or treat night for October the 29th, Thursday. 2026.
Second,
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
a reluctant yes.
Why? We want to be on.
Trick or treats October
Back in the
31st.
day, it
On
used to
Saturday.
be on-
Do you?
On a
do you-
Saturday.
do you move July 4th? Do you move Christmas?
No, but
Thanksgiving, always the third, you know. third-
Saturday'd be awesome.
I thought trick or treat was the.
Trick or treat on
holiday
Saturday
of
would
the
be
devil or
awesome.
something.
I thought the
You
whole
want-
point was, again, the safety
You
issues.
just don't want to be out of sync with everybody else. That's, the
Right.
problem. You know, you want to be in sync with Sharon and Columbus because
Right.
this is my own little personal.
we got two.
Mr. Roper will get over it.
Look for adult.
Okay, spoiler alert, it doesn't
There you
matter,
go.
because
I like that
when
idea
it
a
rains,
lot.
and it will,
On Thursday, the
then,
29th.
then we will be asked, we're not holding it on a different night, period.
I understand a little bit on Friday night because, you know, high school.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's that, yeah, but Saturday night, I mean, you've got all of the adults going out and driving under the
It
influence
is what it is, October
As long
29th.
as you're not on every bike.
on their e-bikes. And they're wearing a purple robe.
We're gonna educate.
Okay, so it is we're going with the 29th.
Going 29th.
All right. September is coming up. We had some discussion last year about whether or not we were going to do a fall cookout or a Christmas party.
I'll pick out. You're talking where we invite everybody.
Everybody
Township
or-
families, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, or do you want to do the Christmas party?
I
Oh,
I
either
think
or.
it's, I thought we landed on, we wanted it more intimate with just the staff for Christmas instead of opening it up. And then do the fall cookout where it's nicer, we got more.
I'm
room.
going to do it, I'm all
What
about.
do you guys
both of them. I'm just trying
I
to,
agree.
I mean, it's just like, it's.
Well, you got more room too. If you do it,
Yeah,
you know,
I think
it
if we,
forces you to clean up your garage. But you just,
Garage is clean.
but you know, like, you have more room out there. It's
Yeah.
more casual. It was so packed in here this year
For Christmas.
for Christmas.
And,
Yeah.
and we can, yeah, and then the kids could be running around, they can, you know, like,
we
we
have
can
a
have
touch
more.
truck
Huh?
for kids,
Mhm.
our own touch truck.
Touch a truck. So you can't do that. And then this, and then for Christmas, we'll just do
Just
staff.
Okay.
Without families. Is that
Without
the
families,
idea? Or
yeah.
just that? Okay.
No, just staff.
No spouse,
That's fast.
just
No kids,
no kids,
no grandkids.
Okay,
We good?
we'll get that.
no
scheduled.
politicians.
If you, if I'm gonna ask of the board,
We'll invite people for Christmas.
if the board can send me a couple of dates that you're available in September, I'd like to schedule this when you guys are gonna be in town.
Can we do it like sort of like later on in the afternoon, like maybe a Thursday where You know, like we end the day instead of doing it in the middle of the day.
I'm fine with.
That's called happy hour.
I wasn't gonna say that, but since you went there, yeah, it's happy hour.
Are there any rules about drinking if you're not operating township?
And then, you know,
equipment?
everybody, you know, just like,
Asking
we could
for
provide,
it.
the township provides the name.
You could just call it, you could just call it a picnic, right?
Right.
It could be like
The
a 5 o'clock.
the fall bash.
Yeah,
Very
we can do whatever
Maybe
you,
ask people what they would prefer, but
Quick poll.
all right.
And we should hold it.
I mean, what's most convenient
Then
for
there's no
them?
liability if we drink. Just saying.
but I'll just throw this out. I was gonna
We did it like,
say this.
we should put a new red, so we'll cut.
We're going to Texas for my granddaughter's second birthday. We leave on Saturday, September 5th, and I don't get back until Sunday, the 13th.
So we should do it on the 11th.
So,
Okay, so
so I will not be here the next meeting.
So what
the
about,
next 2 weeks of, the last 2 weeks of September, we're looking at.
yeah, why don't we do it September or the first
Maybe
week of
it'll be
October?
cooler.
Yeah, cooler, leaves are starting.
We can go whatever you guys, I'm all about it.
Let's do it,
Last week of October or first week of October?
yeah. Not the last
How
week.
about the 29th? Let's do it on October 29th.
No, we're gonna do it on the
You
30th.
have to wear a costume.
Yeah, there you go. We could do the Perry Township costume
Yeah,
party,
we could do
Halloween
that.
costume party.
I would actually be out, you could do it on Thursday, October 1st. Oktoberfest, Perry Township Fest.
Let's do that. Let's do October first.
Then 1, is that work for
October
everybody?
1st,
1 to
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
I thought we were gonna ask the rest of the employees.
No, I guess.
They love it.
We're not the-
They love it. They love it.
Well, we picked the time.
They love it.
They can pick the time.
What?
Okay,
Maybe they can pick the day. That doesn't matter.
5 o'clock somewhere.
I like that. A lot.
You know what, I've lost.
do we have Jimmy Buffett music or
What's that?
we have Jimmy Buffett music?
We can.
You know, I'm thinking we should hold it somewhere other than the township.
I know.
Just saying.
3 to
Are you
5,
guys
yeah.
You know,
attending this?
I know a guy,
You always do.
and owns a place right across the road here. So,
But this is supposed to be a family. You don't want to sit.
I spend all my time with my family. I'm good.
That'll be the Christmas party.
Yeah. see, that's it.
Why don't we just wait until the Christmas party and then we'll do it offsite?
Oh, my
Do you remember
God.
the
Oh, love
cost
it.
Factor.
I tell you what,
Yes.
why don't you have Andy coordinate everything and.
Love it.
Yeah.
That was my event planning.
We've already talked about the tips, so I'll move that and then Chet, I'm gonna go over the, ODOT
What
one.
is an executive session?
It's
It's on there.
Was that on there?
That's for the, 41 acres.
Mm.
Oh,
Everyone asked for that.
yeah,
Table that to next meeting.
we can table it the next meeting.
Hey, I can't be here, but that's it.
Oh,
I'll
for
go with
God's
whatever the
sake.
majority does.
Only if it doesn't miss the party.
Okay.
We're all good.
Chet, do you have any type of update on the 161?
Yeah, so, we're gonna be inviting, the project manager to one of our September meetings. Obviously, now it's gonna be the second meeting.
First meeting's best.
Jim's not gonna be here, so I'll just call, he's coming to, I think, the 17th or something like that. No, that's not right. The 21st. I think it's the 21st.
He was gonna let us know which one of those 2 days.
Yeah, I
were.
know, but now we've decided for him, kind of like the Christmas party and
Yeah.
so I'll reach out to him tomorrow about the 21st.
Okay. That's all I had.
Anything else? Before we get to the fiscal officer? Fiscal officer,
That's a motion for approval of payroll and disbursements.
So moved.
second vote,
Yes.
yes. Anything else before we adjourn?
I'm sorry, wait. Public Works Commission,
Yeah, we just need
signatures.
No,
the
we'll see.
CFO and the CEO would be
Okay.
you and
We don't need a
him.
motion at all, we just need to sign.
Just need to sign it, and that's just to allow them to have the money released
Dispersed, yeah.
dispersed. That it's coming from the grant. This does not affect our portion. We're still working.
You know
on
me,
those-
that's, I
We're
was
still
just trying
waiting
to
on
make
those
sure
numbers, yeah.
there was a way to,
No,
help leverage
Did we adjourn?
all in.
No.
Anyway.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second,
Vote,
yes.
yes.
thank you, folks.
Not in your turn, but.
Okay, very good.
Thank you for my temporary water feature.
I'm going to return.
We get a lot of those.
Okay.